Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/spookshow. Then go over to morbidlybeautiful.com as we are now part of the Morbidly Beautiful Podcasting Network.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
You're too! You're too! You're too!
Everybody here dies by dawn. Dead by dawn!
Welcome to the Spookshow. That's right. You hear that familiar Cannon opening music, and you know it's time for our latest Cannon Fodder. If you've never listened to this series before, essentially what this is we, at random, literally via a random wheel spin, we land on a movie by Cannon Films, the famous kind of action. I don't even know exactly how to classify Cannon Films back in the 80s, but it was kind of the preeminent of like over the top, literally the movie over the top. Movies like that, like action flicks, comedies, just they run the gamut. Sci-fi, a little bit of horror, just a little bit of everything. They made it all. And it was just kind of one of those studios of the 80s that was just, you know, I don't think any of their movies really made big money. You know, like some of them were successful. They never won any Oscars or anything like that. But those movies, if you watch those type of movies, they just stick with you, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's not how much they took from the box office above the other big blockbusters, but it's how cheap Cannon can make them versus how much they made back. So, yeah, I guess if you judge them that way, they were very profitable for them to keep making more because they cost a lot less than the average, I guess, big budget blockbuster Hollywood film at the time.
Yeah, and as the story goes, is like a lot of those type of movie production companies usually start getting, you know, in over your head, and that's what happened to them. Like they did very well with low budget, making money on a lot of movies, but then they started spending more money to make bigger budget movies that just flopped. Superman 4, Masters of the Universe, a handful of other movies, and then that just did them in, right? So that's kind of the history of Cannon Films in a nutshell. But what we do here on Cannon Fodder is we'll spin, we land on one, and we watch it, and we have been on a horrible cold streak of just landing on shit for like the better part of a year and a half, honestly. Well, I think we finally landed on a pretty good one here. And that is Revenge of the Ninja, the second of Cannon's quote-unquote ninja trilogy, right, Smoke?
Yeah, the unrelated ninja trilogy, related at least only through the fact that Shokazugi was in all three of them. Yeah. But playing different characters and all. Yeah, and literally just the human Sho Kosugi, because he's three different characters. The stories don't connect whatsoever. So and then they go from varying degrees of batshit too as time goes on. Like yes. You can tell from like, well, we might as well start at the beginning. Was what Enter the Ninja, and I think 1981, 81 or 82. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think it was 81. And that movie, at least Sho Kosugi was the bad guy in that film. The good guy was Franco Nero, who's probably most famous for playing Django. Yep. Django, which we've done on the show. Yep. Django. Yeah. Back in, I forget what Cold Corner, I assume. Yeah, that was Cold Corner. So, they got this guy big time, and he's Italian. I mean, he played, in a lot of Italian movies or whatever, and also in a lot of other European films. So they got him, but he's not very believable as a ninja. That's why, through the beauty of filmmaking, he was the white ninja in a uniform. His uniform was white and Enter the Ninja. So you put somebody in a uniform, then they can do whatever stunts they need to do, right? So you're not really gonna believe too much that Franco Nero was doing all these ninja moves. You believe that about as much as you believe Lee Van Cleef doing those ninja moves in a very similar thing called The Master. I don't know, you remember that one, Josh? Oh yeah. About the same time period, 1984 maybe. Yeah. That came out on TV. I think it lasted one season. It was a personal favorite of mine back then, and I still love that. But you won't see it in reruns, or you wouldn't have seen it in reruns because it only lasted one season, so it never really got syndicated, I guess. Yeah. But Lee Van Cleef was the ninja master on that one. And I mean, at that time, he was how old? I mean, he was pretty damn old at that point. Yeah. But again, the fact that you have somebody in a black ninja uniform then here's Lee Van Cleef doing all these somersaults and things and all this while he's hidden because he's in a black ninja uniform. It's not him.
Yeah. So
by the time you get to Revenge of the Ninja, then Sho Kosugi's the good guy playing a different character. Then you had Ninja 3: The Domination, which was in 1984.
It sounds about right. 84,
Maybe.
85, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Somewhere there. Yeah. And again with Sho Kosugi playing a different guy, and Lucinda Dickey from Breaking, the Breaking 2 movie, sorry.
Yeah, that was 84.
That was 84, yeah. So
it was a year after this.
So so the levels of batshit were from Enter the Ninja. You get to Revenge of the Ninja is a little bit crazier, also a little bit better in my opinion. I think as far as the script and everything. And then you get to Ninja 3: The Domination, which we've covered on Cannon Fodder earlier on, and that is the batshittiest one.
Yeah, without.
I mean, not shittiest, the batshit craziest one, I should say.
Yeah, I think like if you're just ranking them, like the first one is a little odd because, like you said, Franco Nero and everything, but like. It's still fairly normal action movie with, martial arts fare. And then you got this one where it's like it goes up a level of insanity a little bit.
Yeah. And for some people, that's good. And for some people, might not be as good. Some people,
I mean, for us, it's good.
There's varying levels of liking these movies. Some people like Enter the Ninja better.
Yeah.
And some people like Ninja 3 better because of, depending on what your gauge is for batshit crazy.
I will spoil this now and tell you I like Ninja 3 the best of all of them, just because it is so what the fuck. That's why.
Yeah, Tiana would probably agree with you on that too, right? She hasn't seen Enter the Ninja yet.
I think I like the second one more than the third one.
I mean, I think it's a better movie.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that, but it's a better movie, but I think if I just want what the fuck and have fun, I would pick Ninja 3.
Yeah. And I got to do a little bit of my history with this movie because it goes way back for me. And that's probably why, I mean, if I had to give the edge to one, it might be Revenge of the Ninja, but not because I think it's necessarily, it is probably the better made as far as the plot and all that stuff. And it's got a little bit more going on than Enter the Ninja had, even though I love Enter the Ninja too. It's got more going on. Like I was saying to Tiana while we were watching it, this movie doesn't really get bogged down with too much story development or character development either. It just goes from one action set piece to the next.
Yeah. No,
so it moves along at a hell of a good pace for an action movie. That's all a canon action movie needs to do. Enter the Ninja tried to go into characterization and more with the plot line and all that. And that works fine, but but there's less action.
Yeah.
Straightforward action in Enter the Ninja. So, but this one had more of that. And then, like I said, Ninja 3 is just crazy, right? But the reason I give the edge to Revenge of the Ninja is probably because I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, going all the way back to, and we've talked about CEDs, right, on the show before at some point. Capacitance electronic disc or capacitance electronic device. I can't remember sometimes what the D stands for, but basically like the pre-Laserdisc kind of home video format that we didn't have a VCR at first, so we rented this CED player from a local video store. And that movie was one of the first ones I remember renting on CED when we did that. And
I happen to
I
have
probably watched it like I happen
to have a CED right here. Just I could reach it of Alien right here.
Oh,
and on the bottom it says capacitance electronic disc system.
Yeah, I can never remember if the D is for disc or device. So it's disc.
So there you go.
And but yeah, and also the drawbacks to those things are they scratch fairly easy because it's a stylus, like a turntable stylus inside the machine that reads the CED disc. So as you can imagine, renting these things out and being watched over and over and over again, the grooves kind of get scratched or whatever on the disc. So the thing would skip, or it would stay paused in one spot, and I'd have to go over there and hit the machine or tap the machine or whatever and make the stylus jump so that it would go to the next scene.
Yeah,
all those things stick in my head about it. And before, again, we would rent movies again, say a few weeks down the road, we'd go back and rent this thing out again and get some new movies. Well, I'd always get something else, but I'd also get Revenge of the Ninja.
Yeah.
So I saw this thing, I don't know how many times at that point. Then when we finally got a beta machine, I think I rented it again on beta tape. And when we got a VHS, I rented it on VHS until I finally owned a copy of it sometime down the road. So yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, but the sheer amount of times I've seen it versus Enter the Ninja or Ninja 3, I have to give the edge to this one. So.
I could be wrong, but I know I own a copy of Ninja 3. I don't know if I own a copy of this. I might, and maybe in some collection or something like that, maybe. But
we picked up the Blu-ray of it not too long. When we went to a trip in Missouri, one of the stores out there, we picked up the Blu-ray, which I can't remember now. Who was it? Kino that put it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is some like current remastered, somewhat version of it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And this one we didn't get a chance, and I really wanted to, but we didn't have the time to watch the version with the. There's 2 different commentary tracks on it.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to watch at least one of those, but we just didn't have time to do it before the podcast. But it's got 2 commentary tracks, but not a whole lot else. Doesn't have a whole lot of special features, unfortunately.
I would imagine it would have something with Sam Furstenberg, right? Because not only did he direct...
I think he's on one of the commentary tracks, I believe.
I would imagine, because not only did he direct this, but he directed Ninja 3, The Domination, too.
Oh, yeah, he directed Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, he directed American Ninja and American Ninja 2.
Yeah, I think he ended up becoming one of the more preeminent, quote-unquote, directors for Cannon films, outside of Menachem Golan himself. He probably directed more than... outside of maybe Albert Pune or somebody like that. I mean, he directed a lot of stuff for Cannon.
And even after post-Cannon, he still stayed with the low-budget action type movies. And, kept going with that for a while.
Yep. But yeah, before we get any deeper, though, I know we've already taken a little bit of a dive, but before we take even deeper into the pool, I want to throw out there to go check out aaspookshow.com if you want to go to our YouTube page. On our YouTube page, every month, we have at least 2 series that go very well with Cannon Fodder. And that's Video Vortex and Grindhouse Gutter. Now, Grindhouse is a little older than the stuff you'd see on Cannon, but Video Vortex, that is straight up Cannon. That's the same ballpark we're playing in, right? So if you like this kind of stuff, you'll like that for sure. So go to our YouTube channel and check those out. We also have another series called Hammer Horror in Order where we are watching Hammer Films horror and thriller releases in the order in which they were released. So that's a lot of fun every month. So we got that going on our YouTube channel. We also encourage you to become a patron of the Spook Show at patreon.com/AASpookshow, where we have tons of archived content. You'll get the episodes of the podcast a day or 2 early over there if you become a patron. And as I speak and mention that, the podcast that you're listening to right now comes out every Monday at 6 p.m. East on our YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast. So we're here, there, and everywhere. We've been around for a long time, so we're a trusted source. I think, if you like this kind of thing, and you definitely like these Cannon movies and stuff like that, go check out our Cannon Fodder series. You can find them pretty easily looking through our archives. And I think you'll appreciate a lot of what we do over on our YouTube channel and here on the podcast. Also, I should throw out, we are a spoiler-filled podcast. So if you have never seen Revenge of the Ninja, this might be the point where you want to pause this, go check it out, and then come back, because we are going to spoil the deep, deep, intricate plot of Revenge of the Ninja for you here in just a few minutes.
Oh yeah. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. So anyways, we'll go ahead and toss to the trailer for Revenge of the Ninja.
The Ninja, the perfect assassin. The greatest ninja warrior vows to give up killing.
My sword is sealed forever.
But a ninja cannot escape his destiny. It will follow him from the gardens of Japan to the streets of America.
Get those people out of here.
The heroin spilled out.
Damn it!
He's caught in a drug war between the American mafia and the Japanese Yakuza.
Are you trying to tell me there's ninjas running around there killing people in the 20th century?
The Black Ninja. A disciple of evil who kills for pleasure. Only a ninja can stop a ninja. Now, as the police look on helplessly, high above the streets of Los Angeles, he must fight the killer who was once a friend. Ancient Japanese warfare explodes in America. It's the ultimate martial arts adventure. No one can survive. The Revenge of the Ninja. Revenge of the Ninja, a Golan Globus production from the Cannon Group.
All right, there you go. That's the trailer for that. So, yeah, some of the background that I was able to dig up on this one, I didn't take a deep dive, but I found 2 different other titles that it got released under. One was just Ninja 2. So I'm assuming that must have been in some other countries where it's just like, all right, well, they're following up Enter the Ninja with this one, so we're just going to call it Ninja 2. And then the only place that I could see that it got released in this title was the Philippines. It was released as Way of the Ninja. That sounds familiar. They're like, there's another movie called Way of the Ninja. Maybe I'm just confusing shit, but
it definitely does sound like it could be one.
Yeah, and if not, well, somebody needs to get on it.
If nothing else, Godfrey Ho probably has at least a retitling with that name.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't even, we haven't even gotten to Godfrey Ho on the podcast yet. We got a baby steps. We get Cannon, and then we'll into movies, and then move into Godfrey Ho later.
You have to graduate into that shit.
Yeah.
That's much later on. It premiered September 7th of 1983 in New York City, and then it was released wider the weekend of September 16th of 1983, so roughly, a week and a half later or so. It was produced by Cannon Films, of course, like we've mentioned, but it was distributed by MGM UA Entertainment Company. I think this is like some kind of working arrangement that they had at the time where MGM United Artists was the distributor of a lot of their movies. Not all their movies, but a lot of their movies at that time period. And I think they were the ones that released a lot of that stuff on home video too, right? MGM UA.
Yeah. They had the old book box VHS, please.
Yeah. So
that's what the original Ninja movie, Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and even Ninja 3, I think. I think I got the big box of that Ninja 3 one.
Yeah, by the way, it does have one of the cooler like posters or VHS boxes of the 80s, right? Yeah. This one.
Oh yeah.
If you walk by that in the video store back in the day, like you said you did rent it a number of times. Yeah, this would be one of the ones, right? You're renting the hell out of this thing just looking at that box.
Yeah. And then as we did back then, you would also, if you were lucky enough, you could get a ninja uniform. I had a ninja mask.
Yeah.
And then I had a black sweatpants and stuff,
Yeah. I could see young Smoke now just sitting around in black pajamas at all times thinking he's a ninja watching Revenge of the Ninja.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that and like probably had a lot of weapons we shouldn't have had at that age. I'm talking about a couple of friends from high school. I mean, like I had the ninja claws. I actually had the ninja climbing claws.
Tiana, you can tell us. Tiana, you can tell us the truth. Smoke still wears the ninja outfit just walking around the house, right?
Yep.
I know.
Every night.
Yeah. I know.
Except I actually have a Godfrey Ho style ninja headband that says ninja on
it. Yeah.
It just says ninja, as if like everything you're wearing with it wouldn't tip people off what you're doing. No, it has to say the word ninja on it. Anyways, this movie.
Nope, that's the way you do it. That's the way Godfrey Ho did it, anyways. Thankfully, in this movie, the ninjas do wear headbands. They wear solid red headbands. At least they don't have the word ninja printed on it. Though.
Yeah, these don't have the word yet. They're not advertising it that much. This movie is rated R. Total runtime of 1 hour and 30 minutes. On IMDb, it is listed as an action, crime, drama, thriller. So they throw everything at it. Just kind of like Furstenberg did here. He just throws everything at you. And it was, of all places, this thing was filmed in Salt Lake City, Utah. I just found that odd. Like, of all places. Yeah. It was filmed in Salt Lake City.
Oh, it was L.A.
No. According to what I found, Salt Lake City in July of 1982. So, over a year.
That's just weird, too, because, Cannon was based out of LA. They made most of their movies in LA. I think like the Breaking movies and all that. So in fact, this is weird that for whatever reason now I guess maybe it's because it was less crowded as far as shooting some of these scenes that they shot.
And I'm sure they got some kind of discount. This is Cannon you're talking about, so I'm sure they got some kind of some kind of deal to do it. But the whole movie was shot for a budget of $700,000. So cheap. And it went on to gross, best I can tell, close to $14 million.
Yes, and now that right there is why that's why Cannon was so popular.
Yep.
Not because their movies made a shit ton at the box office, but because there was that divide between how much it cost them to make them and how much they made at the box office.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They spent $700,000 to make it. They made 14. Now let's say they might have put say 500,000 to $1 million into the PR, pushing it out, the commercials and all that shit. Maybe that, probably not even that much. So yeah, they easily cleared $10 million on this thing. I think that's an easy estimate to make. And by the way, Cannon could take $10 million and make 10 movies out of it.
True.
So yeah, they should, if they'd have stuck to that model, they might still be around today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as we've talked about too, I think they just kind of overshot that. They were putting out things, and they did this as a business model. They would put out movies that they didn't even have a script for over in like Cannes Film Festival or wherever. They would like, oh, we're doing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We got so-and-so lined up and we got this, and then they get people to invest in it, and they weren't nowhere near production on it or anything. And I think they too much of that and not being able to deliver on that and kind of screwing investors and things. I did them in.
Yep. I've got the box office, which is always interesting to look back on when we have it. So I've got the box. This is for the weekend that it went wide. So like not that weekend or so prior to that where it was playing limited, but when it went wide, it was playing in even wide, by the way, was pretty low. It was only in 432 theaters. But still, it did really well considering, and we'll get into that. I got the top 10 in the box office that weekend. So this is the weekend of September 16th through the 18th of 1983. Number 10, Staying Alive. That was the John Travolta sequel to, wasn't it? Yeah, the Saturday Night Fever, right?
Yeah, and I saw that in the theater too.
Oh God. Wow. So you're the guy. You're one of the guys. Now, it actually made pretty good amount of money, but yeah. Number 9 in the box office that weekend, the Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd classic, Trading Places. Number 8, this little tiny movie that not many have probably heard of, but it was episode 6 of it's Star Wars episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yes. And before you go any further, maybe this will be in here, or maybe it was a little bit later, but I definitely saw that in the theater. But I also remember seeing Jaws 3D around the same time, because I think I bought a Return of the Jedi cup when I went to see Jaws 3 in 3D. But maybe that was later. I don't know.
That might have been before or after this, because I'm not seeing it in the top 10. But I don't doubt.
Okay, it must have been different week then.
By the way, Return of the Jedi was in its 17th week at this point, so it could have been anywhere in that 17-week period and beyond, right? Because I'm sure Return of the Jedi played for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Number 7, another one that played a long time at that time was Flashdance. Now you're like, Flashdance, what the hell? But that thing was in its 23rd week at this point, and was number 7 in the box office. Number 6, Nightmares, was in its 3rd week. Number 5, Easy Money, was in its 5th week. Number 4, another classic, National Lampoon's Vacation, the original.
Oh yeah,
was in its 8th week. Number 3, Revenge of the Ninja, in its quote unquote big opening wide release weekend. Like I said, number 3 in the box office. Who would have guessed it? Way above Return of the Jedi, way above National Lampoon's Vacation, Revenge of the Ninja, and only and playing in less than half of the theaters at the time too. So that should tell you something about the popularity of ninja shit at that point in time, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I say, I wasn't the only one running around the backyard of ninjas.
Yeah, no, ninjas were a thing for a while there, kids. If you don't remember, ninjas were all the rage for a few years there. Number 2, Risky Business, the Tom Cruise flick, right? And then number 1 in the box office in its 9th week, Mr. Mom. Wasn't that Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom?
Yeah.
Yep. Who would have thought though that it's raking in? It's number 1 in this particular weekend, had been out for 9 weeks, and it was number 1 at least a weekend before that. So go figure.
And all these movies are pretty solid, and it just goes to show, it might be just because of the time period growing up in, but like if you, me today, if you were to say, hey, you want to go see this movie about a dancer, who, whatever, flash dance, in other words, I'm like, you tell me the plot to that, I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. But Flashdance, oh no, it's a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah.
Staying Alive. We're going to go see this movie where John, or today it wouldn't be John Travolta, I guess, but whoever, it's kind of a sequel to this disco movie over here, and it's just blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm not going to see that.
Yeah.
But Staying Alive, yeah, I'll see that.
Yeah.
Basically the plots of these movies in the 80s you move them to today's time, and half of them I wouldn't want to see, just based on the plot. Like Mr. Mom. You want to see this story about a husband who raises the kids at home while the mom goes and works and stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go see that.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's a great movie.
Wasn't that, by the way, I'm trying to look real quick. Staying Alive, it was directed by Stallone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has his brother. It has some songs in it.
Frank's Stallone. Fucking
Frank.
Frank's always along for the ride. Fucking Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Random. Anyway, so yeah, there's your box office snapshot there in that weekend of 1983. So Revenge of the Ninja did pretty well. It held its own against Return of the Jedi, at least for a week or two there. But yeah, that just, like I said, that just goes to show you how popular this stuff was at that time. So there you go. And it's probably why Ninja 3 was a mess and got released a year later. Cannon's probably like, oh, we need to keep cashing in on this Ninja shit, American Ninja and all that stuff. We need to keep riding that Ninja train. Let's quickly, hey, Sam Furstenberg, can you quickly make another one of these with Sho Kosugi there? Yeah, sure. And then it's just a fucking nightmare. As far as like a movie, a coherent movie, it's a nightmare,
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah, because I don't know. They got Lucinda Dickey, and we're gonna make her the main star. Sho Kosugi is gonna be in it, but he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy, but he's barely not in all that much. That pissed Sho Kosugi off. So then also it's gonna have these horror elements like an Exorcist movie or something. Like they're just throwing everything at it, and it comes out what it is, which is awesome, but not necessarily great, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. As a movie, like we said.
Yeah.
But as just what the hell is this insanity? Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's one of the nuttiest things you'll ever see.
Yeah, and I don't even remember what the box office was. Not that we have to go down that hole, but I don't remember exactly how well it did based on how much it cost to make.
It didn't do nearly. I just pulled it up real quick. It had a $2 million budget, so it's over double the budget, and it made $7.6 million. So that one flopped comparatively.
Comparatively, yeah.
Well, if you sit down and watch it, you'll understand why. The word of mouth got out, and they're like, yeah, not so much, But cult classic nonetheless.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yeah, but anyways, Revenge of the Ninja, this one, like it's kind of hard to describe this thing, but essentially what you got going on here is a revenge flick, right? Like, it's in the title there, Revenge of the Ninja. Like, the movie starts off with Sho Kosugi's character, his family just completely getting wiped out. By the way, that's one of the more nuttier, like, holy shit beginnings to a movie you'll see, right? It's like,
that's what I was telling Tiana after I watched it too. There's nothing like 5 minutes off the top of the movie, a complete ninja massacre,
Yeah, just like these ninjas come into this like ancient family. By the way, they never explain why any of this shit happens, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, because you're talking about these people they're living like it's feudal Japan.
Yeah. but it's the 80s. Because because right, this happens, and then it's 6 years later. Now he has moved his son and his mother. They're the only, basically the only survivors of this ninja massacre. They have moved. Yeah. They have moved to I guess L.A. or wherever the fuck they are. Right? I don't know. I don't remember what town they're supposed to be in.
It was supposed to be L.A. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Or some outskirts of L.A. or something.
Yeah. But so they've moved.
Supposed to be in.
They've moved there, and it's 6 years later. But yeah, you're right. Like 6 years prior to that, it's feudal Japan. So what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. And he's just living like a straight up, I guess, ninja. I don't know. I mean, this ninja clan is going in there to kill his family and stuff, and then his friend at the time, somehow he's befriended this guy that, he comes into the beginning of the movie after the ninjas massacre most of his family and other people gathered at this temple. Like I said, it's basically like feudal Japan. Then he and his friend Braden, white guy from the States, who is trying to convince him to move to LA, comes into the scene, right? And then they come into this massacre, and then of course more ninjas attack, and he has to fight these ninjas, and Braden also fight somebody. He has a gun, right? Well, of course, I don't know. I guess we should flip forward to the fact that these ninjas, who they're really working for, right? Did they even say that?
I assume they're working for him, right?
I assume it's Braden, yeah. Because as we find out, Braden, and you find this out, it's not like a mystery. At first, it kind of is, but not really. I mean, you kind of you kind of feel that this guy's not trustworthy. In fact, his mom says that right at the very beginning of the movie, before they even move to America. The mom's like, "Yeah, I don't trust this guy at all." And then the camera cuts to Braden's eyes, and you're like, "Yeah, they're making you feel like, yeah, you shouldn't trust this guy either."
Yeah,
the way they show up after that, so you get this connection that right off the bat that something's not on the up and up with this guy. But he manages to convince him to move to America.
But that's the kicker. Like, why would he go in and massacre this dude's family to get him to come to America just to have dolls that they fill with heroin? Like, I don't. You
just have to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. It doesn't make any damn sense.
It seems like they wouldn't get that much heroin in these dolls. I mean, these dolls are just dolls that are like hollow, I guess, on the inside, but they're not so hollow that they would hold a massive amount of drugs in them.
Dude, it leads to one of the better lines of the movie, though, when like the kid breaks one of the dolls, and then she's like, "Don't worry about it," and then she has to explain to the guy, like, "Yeah, he broke one of the dolls, and all the heroin spilled out." Oh yeah, this is normal. This is normal. By the way, that kid, that's one of Sho Kosugi's. Actually, two of his sons are in the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
The kid that gets killed at the beginning in the massacre.
With the throwing star?
Yeah, with the throwing star right to the forehead. That's one of his sons.
Yep.
And then Kane is Kane Kosugi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his son. I don't know what their age is, but yeah. Yeah, so he's got two of his kids in this one, and the one
I'm pretty sure
pretty big role.
There's a movie we need to get to somewhere down the line on Cult Corner, and you may have seen it, but it's a Ninja Assassin. Have you seen that, Josh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Remember that? That movie had Sho Kosugi in it as a ninja master. I mean, he's not the star of it. He's there as the master of that ninja clan.
Yeah.
But I think his son, I want to say his son was in it too, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't really look into the the filmography of Kane Kosugi, but because I don't really know if he went down the path as much as, like in movies and stuff. He's done a lot of movies for sure. But I think he did a lot of other stuff,
mm-hmm.
So, because I think he actually did some like real competitive fighting and stuff too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, some years later, but
getting back to that one scene with his other son, that's pretty brutal. That, that whole ninja massacre at the beginning is pretty brutal, but the fact that they kill his kid, and I mean they show it kind of.
Oh yeah, they didn't shy away from it, like. This kid takes a fucking...
I forget what, he gets hit with something first. Before the throwing star, you get something happens to him, I thought.
But I mean, he takes a throwing star full to the forehead, and then you watch him die. God damn. By the way, I think
it's pretty brutal.
To me, I will say this. I mean, I love the movie, but they did kind of overplay or maybe overpower the ninja star in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's that one shot where in one of those random fights where the dude, it's a black guy next to a tree, and the throwing star hits him in the hand. He's shooting, and it hits him in the hand, and then the guy dies. From what I can tell, he dies from taking a throwing star to the hand. I mean, in real life, wouldn't you be just like, "Ow, what the fuck," and then take it out and then kill him with a gun? No, he's like, he just.
But the best throwing star though was that bomb the bomb informant
right in the eye.
For the mafia guy.
Yeah,
he's by the water fountain or whatever.
Yeah,
and then he takes a throwing star to the head, slow motion, falls into the fountain. The people gather around like, "Oh shit, what the hell?" Then you see a pool of blood, going out from his head in the water, and
then they turn him over.
What's his name? The mafia guy's like, "Pull him up, pull him up."
Yeah,
and they pull him up and then pull his head and he's towards the camera, like full on close up. And the towing star is like not exactly in his eye. It's beside his eye. And you see his eyeball kind of bulge too right there. It's like, oh, that was pretty cool.
And he's already got a patch, right?
Yeah, the other eye.
Yeah. He's already wearing a patch, so he's only down to 1 hour, and he catches a throwing star to the other one.
And I like how they explain, like later when he's in the police station, and they say either his police friend, which I can't think of his name right now, the guy that's on the police force that brings him, has Sho Kosugi kind of come into the station to tell him basically, because they think it's, they get a ninja star, right? So he knows that Sho Kosugi's got all this training and stuff, and so he brings him in to talk to this police guy or whatever, chief. And then the guy shows them, and he goes, "What about this?" And it shows him the throwing star, and he's like, and Sho takes it, he's like, "Oh yes, this is perfectly. These blades are perfectly the right length to enter into the eye socket and go into the brain." Or whatever.
Real scientific breakdown of the ninja star.
Yeah.
I love the belt
and
buckle.
There's that scene.
I love the belt buckle.
The belt buckle?
Yeah, I think that's the one that he threw into that guy's hand, but it's like it comes out of his belt buckle. Like, yeah, they seriously overpower the ninja stars.
No, that was the thing too. That was all these things I'll talk about. These ninja weapons, you would order it out of the back of Black Belt magazine.
Yeah,
because I would get the latest Black Belt magazine. You could get ninja stars. Well, you can get those at any given flea market too.
Yeah,
butterfly knives, all this stuff. But yeah, the back of the magazine, you could get that throwing star belt buckle even. Because I remember I wanted to get it, but I never got it.
I think we've talked about this before, but really growing up, Smoke, you and I, we had like these delusions that life was going to be full of quicksand and ninjas.
Yeah.
Like just the rest of our life, we'd have to deal with random pits of quicksand and roving bands of ninjas.
Well, really, if you boil it down to the quicksand, kind of is that thing too. But you boil it down to Rambo and ninja, because Rambo is kind of, you could kind of do the quicksand thing in there because of the traps and stuff. Like me and my cousin, we used to like make traps. And I would get my sister to run behind us and chase us, and then she'd fall in the trap, right?
Oh.
But it's because of Rambo, I had the survival knife with the compass on the handle and all that stuff too. And you open up the little compass handle end, and you got a hollow handle that you can put things in, matches or whatever, So yeah, Rambo and ninjas. That was the gist of my adolescent life for a while.
Gotta love the 80s.
Yep.
But I really thought that all those things would be a true problem in life. Turns out it really wasn't, I've never actually seen a ninja in my life, and not even quicksand really. So maybe a mud hole or something. That's about it. But Pete, that one scene multiple scenes you're talking about, like dudes are getting assassinated left and right. Like the homeless guy and taking it to the eye, and then there's like two other people. I guess they're all mob hits, like you said, right?
Yeah, that was Braden. It was Braden taking out the people because the mafia guy wasn't going to pay him his money that he owed him for the heist from Japan or whatever. The drugs, the Japanese mafia or whatever tie-in that they had with the dolls.
Yeah,
shipping it in the dolls to Sho Kosugi. Because his whole thing was like getting Sho Kosugi to come over to America to run his.
Yeah,
I don't know why I necessarily needed it, but I guess
that's the part that they didn't explain at all. Like, why would he take out this dude's family just to get him to come over here and run his heroin doll business without him knowing it? Like, couldn't you have gotten any other dumb patsy to do that? Like, it had to be him, and you had to massacre his whole feudal Japan family to do it.
Not to mention, he's the ninja, so why are you bringing? This, why are you going to bring him over here to be your adversary, basically, if something goes wrong?
Yeah, because if this goes south, you're probably getting killed. And sure enough, that's exactly the way it plays. There was the epic van fight scene where they're rolling in that van that van that I can only describe as something close to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles van.
Yeah.
Without the shell as the spare tire on the front of it. Otherwise, it's the same fucking van. That was pretty epic. The stunts in that were By the way, we should mention that Sho Kosugi did a lot of the stunts in this movie. Like, he was the stunt coordinator, right? I think him and some other guy, but it was mostly him doing these stunts, or coordinating these stunts, I should say.
I liked the Indian stunt.
Yeah. That was the guy. I think that was in the van. Like he was part of that. Because not to be confused with the next gang that he runs into, which I only describe as the Village People gang.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said when we were watching it.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at the Village People here. You got that.
That was another thing that the 80s fucked us on too. Is that like we thought all gangs all had a different motif. Like every gang had a dude that dressed like a cowboy or an Indian or
they were on roller skates, like in 1990 The Bronx Warriors.
Like every gang is like some weird version of the Warriors, except except just mix them all together. Like you got these weird characters that hang out, and I'm sure that real gangs have weird characters in them, but not like that.
True.
Not all different coordinated outfits at the times.
But you're probably right. That probably does go back to. I mean, if you had to trace it back to one. Probably the Warriors. It probably is the one.
Yeah. Except they actually went the extra mile of like each gang had a theme where they all got together and figured out what they were going to wear together that day. Like most gangs are like, well, we wear the color red or we wear the color blue. No, they had baseball outfits and Indian headdress and like they really went the extra mile for their costumes.
Oh yeah.
But still, like two epic fight scenes where like the van thing, there's a chase and then he fights and kills all those dudes or most of them. And then the Village People attack. And then, somewhere in the middle of that, his mom that he drug over here, she got attacked and like mom can kick some ass. She was holding her own for a minute there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
and then, then she threw the smoke bomb, right? And disappeared.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he had knowledge. I guess he used his ninja sixth sense to.
Yeah, well, they made
to pinpoint where she was behind the bamboo. Not the bamboo, but the whatever
the door or whatever. They did
make
it a point
made out of like the Japanese paper stuff.
They did make it a point eventually to address that. Like once you put two and two together, like this dude's the ninja, the bad ninja or whatever. Wait a minute, he's a white guy. How's he a ninja? And they said, well, he's lived in Japan for 20 years and he just, he learned how to become a ninja.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, they don't really make it a point to disguise. It's not like Scooby-Doo, where like you don't know who the person is until the very end when they unmask them, right? They don't make it a point to do that. You already know something's up with them, and then you when he like said the mom's like, oh, I don't trust him and all this, right? Then he moves. Shokuzuki moves to Japan with helping out the Braden guy, and then you find out he's the drug smuggler guy. So you already know he's not to be trusted. He's a drug smuggler. Then it shows him with his ninja toolkit, right? Yeah. With the weapons, the little briefcase thing, and then he's putting the mask on. So they don't really go out of their way to make you not know who it is. They could have done that. They could have gone down the path of here's this ninja assassin. Then at the end you find out, oh shit, it was Braden the whole time.
Yeah.
We don't know that, or I mean, we know that, but Shokuzuki doesn't know that. His son doesn't know that until he discovers his identity right after he kills Shokuzuki's mom, right?
Yeah.
And that's the scene where Kane, and his name is Kane Kazuki, his real name, and his name in the movie is also Kane. That makes it easy for me to remember.
Yeah.
Half these times when I'm talking about movies, even though I know it, I'm like, so and so or Shokuzuki. I don't remember.
Yeah, in the movie, his name is Kane Osaki. So they only changed. They only changed the last name.
Yeah. So then the mom gets killed by Braden as the ninja, and then Kane's coming home from school, I guess, or whatever, and he comes in through the roof, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's his way of coming in. There's a roof with like a ladder that goes up to the roof, or whatever. And he comes across the roof and down. He's looking and he sees Braden standing there over his mom, and Braden's taking off the ninja mask and the silver mask he wears. And like I was telling Tiana, the reason why he's probably wearing the silver mask is so that when he's in the ninja uniform and Shokuzuki's in the ninja uniform, you don't mistake who's who.
Yeah.
In certain scenes,
Yeah.
But it's also really cool looking Japanese type style of demon mask or whatever, silver. That kind of reminds me of the Mask of Demons.
Yeah, I was about to say, damn it, I was about to say the same thing. I was like, that mask kind of reminds me of that one from Demons.
That's true, yeah, because
like
it's that silver.
When he lifts it out of a bag and he kind of stops and like, oh, there it is. Like for a second there, I was like, oh, it's that same fucking mask.
Yeah. Yep. But probably because that Demon's mask is also somewhat reminiscent. It's not meant to be, I think, but it's very reminiscent of those Japanese demon masks.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he, that's when Kane just sees him. He turns around, he looks up, and then Kane's looking at him through the roof, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" So he tries to hightail it, but then he realizes then the ladder's there, and then Braden's going up the ladder. And that's cool because remember he cuts the ladder.
Yeah.
It's a rope ladder, and then Kane cuts it up top, and then it falls down or whatever. And then they go through this whole scene of him being chased by Braden, like a cat and mouse chase scene, right?
And you can really tell that this kid is Sho Kosugi's kid. Like,
oh yeah,
in terms of like, he's actually doing some stuff where he's actually pretty good at it. I don't know how old he was here, but he couldn't have been 10, give or take. I don't know.
Probably if that, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. And they don't really, even though this movie is over the top in its action scenes and all that stuff, back during this time, they were kind of somewhat realistic about what a kid could do. Let's say, like, because he's doing these moves, but he's a kid, so they're not going to be as effective on an adult. And you see that in these
eventually
he's fighting an adult.
Eventually, the adult, which is much bigger than him, is going to grab a hold of him and say, "All right, that's enough,"
Yeah.
and just throttle the hell out of him, and that's what happens. But.
But you can definitely tell he's talented and that he's Sho Kosugi's son, that he knows martial arts for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he's got the movements.
Yeah, and especially in that bully scene nearer to the beginning of the movie when they first moved to America.
Yeah,
and those bullies on the bikes they're trying to bully him or whatever, and he beats the shit out of them, right?
Yeah, while the grandma's just standing there like,
she's like, my boy.
Yeah, she doesn't really.
Oh, you can't do that.
She doesn't try to stop shit. She just stands there as he's like taking on 7 kids.
Yeah, and she is has already it hadn't been established at this point, but gets established later. She can hold her own too. Like
exactly.
She wasn't going to jump in on these kids because she didn't need to.
Yeah,
she already knew that he was going to beat the shit out of him. So.
True.
But if not, then she could have beat the shit out of him.
Well, you eventually get to the final scene, but before you get to the final scene, there's the famous line of it only takes a ninja to stop a ninja. When he realizes like, oh, this is the dude I'm gonna have to go after him or whatever. So then you get the final showdown, which of course, it wouldn't be a proper ninja action flick if you didn't have a 15 to 20 minute long, 10 false ending fight, to the death. And that's what.
But that whole skyscraper scene is pretty cool because even though it's very implausible, but the whole part of Braden when he's going. Yeah, when he's trying to get to the building to assassinate the main mafia guy, right? He's on the skyscraper across from the building because all these gunmen are down on the ground, like guarding the entrance. So he's got the big bow. He's showing putting together the bow, and then he shoots this grappling thing over there, which again doesn't make sense. It like shoots from one building to the other, and then somehow turns and screws into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're gonna trust your full body weight on this thing,
Yeah, sure.
So yes, very very cool, but very implausible. And then he goes across on this little pulley thing, right, from one building down the rope to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just basically shows him going from floor to floor, killing all these mafia guys in there to get to I can't remember the name of the dude, the main mafia guy, main Italian guy.
I don't remember. Yeah,
he's trying to work his way to him, so it's got more Ninja Massacre stuff. And then what about the one where he comes out the ceiling? When he comes out the ceiling tile, and he's spinning the 2 metal arrows in his hand, like doing ninja tricks with it. And before the guys are looking at him like, "What the hell is this?" And then he stabs him right in the head with them.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of the one part. I think it was it might have been in the Ninja Massacre at the very beginning of the movie when he shows up and he's fighting all these dudes and they shoot him with the arrows and he catches 2 of them in his hands and then the third one in his teeth. And then stabs down like he uses the arrows to stab and kill like 2 or 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that's the whole movie. It's like, it's just epic fight after epic fight. And that's, like you said earlier, that's what keeps it. The pace never really slows down much.
Not much.
There's exposition and there's a little bit of story to bridge you to the next epic fight.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
just enough to like, it's a police procedural going on at the same time as it's a mafia crime film going on. But that's really it.
Yeah.
The police procedural mafia crime story is just the bare minimum backbone that you need to build all the action scenes around.
It's just there to get you to the next ninja throwdown, and that's and that's exactly what you want. So there you go, Revenge of the Ninja. So Smoke, this is one of your favorites. I mean, I know none of us directly brought it to the table. It was a random wheel spin. Thank God. But we're going to let you go first. What's your final thoughts on what your now on Cannon Fodder? We do 0 through 5. We don't do stars. We do cannonballs. So we're comparing this to other Cannon movies and everything. So it's a little bit of a different scale. Go listen to past Cannon Fodder episodes to really get a feel for what we're talking about here. But with that in mind, what's your final thoughts on your cannonball rating?
Oh, yeah. So as you can probably tell from, if you've listened to this far, my admiration for this movie and the fact that it's part of my childhood, right? As far as the ninja movies go, this was probably the one that I don't know if I saw this one first or if I saw Enter the Ninja first, but I saw them pretty close together. Neither of them I was able to see in the movie theater because my parents weren't going to take me to see Revenge of the Ninjas R-rated Ninja Massacre movie when I was 10 years old, which is when it came out in '83 and how old I would have been.
Yeah.
But 1 year later on CED, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, there's a fine line.
Yes. Yeah. Not in the theater, but actually, they probably would have taken me to see it in the theater, but neither my dad or my mom would have been interested in Revenge of the Ninja at the time. We weren't going to go see that. So. But yeah, my history of the movie and how many times I've seen it and how much I like it and everything, I couldn't give this any less than 5 cannonballs.
I mean, that's what we all gave Ninja 3, The Domination. And like I said earlier, I like that one better because of what it is. But I don't think that necessarily means I'm going to take away from this one because it ain't that. So yeah, I think I'm going to go 5 cannonballs as well. I mean, and that's just because I know there's not going to be a whole lot of these that I'm going to give 5 to.
Yeah.
That's true. You got to kind of hand these out like when you find one you really enjoy like this, you might as well go ahead and hand it out. So.
That's true. I mean, this is Cannon Fodder after all. I mean, if we were doing a regular episode, where we have 10, a rating of 10, then I'd get more nuance.
Well, it's not going. This wouldn't be 5 for me on the regular scale, but yeah, for Cannon, absolutely. So, Tiana, what do you say?
I'm gonna go with you guys too. 5 for this one.
Nice.
Goody.
Nice. I always wonder about you with these kind of movies. You never know. You don't like these generally as quite as much as we do, so I was curious, but glad to hear it. So that gives it 5 cannonballs across the board. We can't recommend it enough. I mean, if you like ninja movies or you like Cannon in general or just the wacky over the top action flicks of the 80s, this one's got to be on your list. You need to go check this one out.
Oh yeah.
So that's enough.
Yeah, it almost doesn't get much better than this when it comes to Cannon, unless you just hate ninjas. If you just hate ninjas, then you're missing in action, you're over the top and all that. But this is up there for me as far as
I mean, as far as 5
top-notch Cannon films.
As far as like 5s across the boards that we've given, we gave it to in Cannon Fodder. We gave it over the top, missing in action, and Ninja 3: The Domination.
Yeah.
So now this Revenge of the Ninja is the next one. So
yep. So we didn't give Invasion USA 5 across the board, huh?
No, it came pretty close. It came damn close, but we gave that one basically 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, that was the one that came the closest without getting it.
Yeah, without getting quite there. But still, that still puts it in the top notch. So
and that was because at the time Donnie and Will didn't like it quite as much as you and I did. But
okay.
I mean, they still liked it, but just based on rating, they didn't give it a 5, so that brought it down a little bit. But yeah. Well, there you go. That's the latest Cannon Fodder. Now next week. It's my pick, and I decided since it's kind of around the anniversary of it, let's just go ahead and go with it because by and large, for the most part, we have avoided musicals. I think we've dabbled here or there. God knows on Crafterpiece we watch Cats, right?
Yeah.
There's been things that we've hit around it, but we've never really dove in or anything like that. But I had to do it. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because it's the 50th anniversary. Like basically right now as we speak, or maybe later. I can't remember the exact release date of it, but 50 years of Rocky Horror. So let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. So we'll see. We'll see what we all say about it. This ought to be interesting. Because musical usually isn't our bag, so.
No. And I'll start right off the board by saying that I've never, because this is a movie that's like one of those, what do you call it, like the midnight type. It's got a huge following in the movie theater because it's got all the people doing stuff on the seat, throwing the rice or doing this parts of the movie that correspond in the theater. I've never experienced it in the theater like that.
No, I've never. No, me either. One of these days. Oh, you have?
Oh,
okay.
yeah, Tiana has.
See, one of these days, I'd actually kind of like to do that, just to kind of be in the room and one of those, that type of thing. But
I know they do it in Atlanta, but
yeah,
I don't know if they do it in Charlotte or anything.
I know they have before. I don't know how consistently they do it, but I know they have before.
Or how audience participation it is or not.
Yeah, how deep people get into it or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get into that next week. It's truly a midnight movie, but yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. 50 years, so I figured why not? Let's go ahead and start ramping up spooky season, right? I mean, because here we are, we're coming into late September now, and before you know it, hot and heavy. Also, we want to remind everybody, next Wednesday, not this Wednesday the 17th, but next Wednesday, September 24th, 9 p.m. live on our YouTube channel, we're going to be doing the Spookshow Awards. I think it's the 4th annual. I can't remember. 4th or 5th annual Spookshow Awards. It's one of our annual traditions we do around this time of year. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be live over on our YouTube channel at 9 p.m. East, Wednesday, September 24th. That's the plan, at least. So some combination of us will be there that night. So we'll see what goes down and hand out some spookies. Some of the best and worst of the last year and all the other goofiness in between, right? So, all right, that's enough. So for Tiana and the Professor, I'm Josh. We are the All-American Spook Show, and we'll talk to you next week for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.